for the opposite. But we are a flexible team. We are a flexible team, and just like, what's our opinion now? It's only real musicians. Only real musicians have perfect pitch. Yes, of course. We've always lived that. Me and Rodrigo were like, yeah, of course. So
the best, or maybe now.
I tried that flute they give you in school.
You know.
I was not very good at it. But yeah, other than that, doorbells.
Awesome. All right, can everybody see my screen again?
Yes.
All right, we should be good now. That's everything over here. Okay, we're gonna watch a video now about somebody that has a very specific and very distinct musical ability. Let's go.
Here we go. Ooh, that sounded bad.
Okay, so that was actually two notes. If you play a C and a C sharp together, and it goes up the octave.
That's
like that.
crazy.
So that's a minor second. So that's why fire alarms in hotels it's a minor second, because it kind of prompts you to get up and go out of the building.
Let me try this one because maybe it'll be more pleasant.
A. So A. So A. Maybe I've never.
Come on, that's crazy.
Oh, that's an F sharp now. So play F sharp.
Did you guys work on this beforehand?
All right, so let's keep it moving here. So what can you guys tell me about this video very quick? Could I have maybe Leticia read these questions for us, please?
So what is impressive, why or why not? All of them?
Yeah, just read the questions.
Okay, do you think this ability is useful? It is talent or training? Do you know anyone with this specific ability?
Yeah, so do you guys think this was an impressive video, an impressive ability? Can you guys tell me? Anybody?
Yes, I believe it's very impressive. I don't have this capability of doing this kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah, do you guys think it's useful?
I believe so. If you are in the music world, I believe it's very useful.
Yeah, I think for everyday life, it could have the uses, but especially for a musician, for sure. And what about, is it talent or training? Anybody?
Maybe both.
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. I think this type of thing is something that like you get better the more you practice, but also you have to have like a little bit of a predisposition and talent to be able to accomplish. And do you guys know anybody with this ability that we just saw?
Mm-mm.
I don't think so.
Mm-mm. Me neither.
Yeah, on the same level, I guess not. Yeah, that's a rare ability, I would say.
Yeah, I don't think so. I've had a very talented piano teacher that I think she could have the ability, but again, I think it was a lot of training because she is very very proficient at the piano.
I know Hermeto Pascoal. He's a Brazilian musician, and he's really, really impressive because he can create song with any instrument or any, I don't know, sound. Like there is a clip he made recording a song playing with water in a lake, with the fall. It was very, very different, very nice.
I think I've seen something like that. Yeah, people can make music out of anything as well. I think it's a great thing. But yeah, all right, good stuff.
Where are we going?
Moving.
Ooh, that sounded bad.
I need to make the video. And now we talk about perfect pitch, which is the ability in the video, as Rodrigo mentioned before as well. So, in your own words, can anybody try to explain the meaning of perfect pitch, please?
in my words, like it's a person who can try to recognize perfectly a note of a music or the chords of a music, I believe. Not the single notes, but the chords as well, you know.
I would probably say like more like the notes, but I think both can apply. Anybody else can maybe answer before we move on?
I think that's it. A super sensitive ear. Even watching the video, my ear is so bad that I couldn't really see the big deal about it. Like I was like, they're reacting as if it's very impressive, but I was like, I don't get the connection so strongly. But I think that says more about my own ear than the talent.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It all sounds kind of not the same thing to me. And that explains why I'm not sure.
Oh, that's an interesting way to see it. I mean, yeah, that does make sense. I mean, some people have more or less contact with music, so that factors in a lot.
Yeah, but we could practice with him. For example, after this class, I can play some notes with the ukulele or a piano and try to explain to him the differences between the notes.
Sure. Every note is dull.
We could have maybe a practical music lesson for João.
I don't want homework, so.
But is better. This class is better for you because in the beginning we were planning to put a site that we would play a note in this site, and then we had to recognize the tone, and then the site has those levels that you start just recognizing 2 notes, and then you have to recognize 3, 4.
Yeah, I think the site would crash when I played, but.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Okay. Just see over here. All right. I think we can start to move on. And let's see if I could have João read the definition and the little bullet here, please.
Okay. So, perfect pitch is the ability to identify or reproduce a musical note without a reference note. Stuff like naming piano notes instantly, singing a requested note directly, or hearing a car horn and identifying the note.
Yeah, so this is basically all we talked about right now. So like the ability to be able to listen to a note or listen to maybe a part of a song and being able to tell which note or which chord is being played at that moment. I used to have this one song, I forgot the name, I haven't listened to it in many years, that it started with a note G, sol, and when I was in the library, this was still at school, like every single time the phone at the of the librarian rang, it played that same exact G, but like I could only tell because I was listening to that song so much, and because I was listening like almost every day to the phone ring with that exact note. So again, this notion of perfect pitch is also something that happens a lot with a lot of let's say practice, but also with like repetition, I would say. Now I ask you guys, would you guys be able to accomplish any of these actions that are named here?
Maybe over time with a lot of practice, and maybe I might be wrong, but I believe there are people that are so immersed into music. For example, maybe Leticia, your brother, I guess that his perceptions of the world are kind of biased towards music. I'm trying to say that while, for example, in my case, I'm not paying attention to a sound in this a sound that I hear and trying to match the notes, but maybe your brother, he would hear a sound and instantly associate to a specific music. And I guess this kind of people, their perceptions of the world are more musical, and that's possibly one reason they are constantly training this kind of skill.
Yeah, I don't know Leticia's brother, but I can probably agree with that. Like, I think my world is like 100% music. So every time I can associate, like my brain goes towards that side. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we can move on here to this little section of an article called Absolute Pitch, Gift or Curse from the Austrian Academy of Sciences. And so basically this was a little homework assignment that I had from the previous class. And it's a little article, and it's basically structured in a way that's a question and answer from the academy to this aqua station called Ébano Resende de Souza. And yeah, so I very, very much like this segment of the article. So what I would like to do with you guys is everybody read like one sentence, so until the period. So let's and yeah, like this we'll also read together. So let's go and start with Eduardo could read the first sentence, and then Leticia, and then João, and then Rodrigo. I think that works.
Okay. So, can absolute pitch be learned? Resende de Souza. In the literature, there is an ongoing debate about whether people are born with absolute pitch or whether it can be acquired.
A more recent and increasingly accepted view lies somewhere in between. Some individuals have a genetic predisposition that becomes activated during a critical phase in early musical training.
At a young age, this process is much like learning a second language.
Adults, on the other hand, find it much harder to master a language without an accent.
All right, very good. We had these words pretty much in the little squares because I thought they were good vocabulary terms as well for the article. This and many others, but I think this was a very good section because of these terms. And now for this article, we have a few questions here. If I could please have Rodrigo read the questions for us, please.
Yeah, sure. So based on the segment from the article, write down what you understood. According to the article, why is learning perfect pitch similar to learning a second language? Do you agree that learning music is easier when you're young? Why or why not? What do you think is more important, natural ability or early practice? Explain your answer using evidence from the article.
So let's see. How would you answer the first question for us, João?
I think it's like learning a second language because it happens in the same kind of developmental windows. So you're building up kind of vocabulary, repertoire. And if you do it in the right time, that sticks with you much better. If you do it later, it's a lot more work.
Yeah, that's pretty much. We're gonna watch another video soon, and one of the points that they bring up is pretty much what you said. We'll see more about that later. But great point. And how would you maybe answer the second question, Eduardo, please?
Right. So I guess learning when we are young is definitely easier because, as João mentioned, we are developing our brains and language. That's first years of our lives. That's the period where we are especially developing the ability to speak, to learn, and how Rodrigo mentioned there, brain plasticity. So definitely it should be easier. Recently I tried to learn a new language. I am 36 now, and I found it much more difficult than when I was in the 20s. So I guess that's true.
What language was that?
Polish. Yeah, it's kind of difficult.
Sounds pretty difficult one. But I think the whole ideas of like early age, being able to learn stuff when you're younger, I think it's a very important thing to keep in mind.
Yeah.
So yeah. And let's see, for the last question, Letícia, how would you answer this?
I was thinking about soccer and the difference between, for example, Messi, that just won the game against England, and CR7 Cristiano Ronaldo or Mbappé. So natural ability against early practice. I mean, I know that Messi also started playing very young, but I don't know, I'm very into this idea of practicing, you know, that by practicing you can achieve your goals or whatever you want. You just need to put some more effort. But actually I don't remember the answer following the article, but this is my mindset considering the current events in my life.
Yeah, I think it's a very nice bridge to the current events, especially from today's game. My goodness. But yeah. All right, so let's move on here to some vocab terms. So how can I do this today? So let's have maybe I could have Rodrigo read the terms in yellow, and I could have Eduardo read the sentences.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good.
Ability, advantage, reference, acquire, and compose.
Mm-hmm.
So first one, people with perfect pitch can identify notes without needing any ability. Reference tone, I would say.
Yes, that is correct.
Next one, it takes years to acquire musical skills.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Absolute pitch is a rare ability.
Ability is correct, yes.
Students with perfect pitch have an advantage in music school entrance exams.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And finally, Mozart could compose beautiful music.
All right, so here's some vocab terms that, in case you hadn't read the article, they were somewhere in the article and they connect to the ideas that we were talking about before. So, all right, good stuff. Thank you, you guys. And now we're gonna watch another video called Perfect Pitch, Can This Rare Musical Ability Be Taught? And while we're watching, we're going to identify these following questions. If I could please have Letícia read these questions first, that we're going to get it up.
Yeah, of course. One fact about perfect pitch, one possible cause of the ability. What is the matter with the character in the video and her perfect pitch? And her dream is to become an opera singer. Do you think she will be able to reach that goal?
All right, let's go.
She's remarkable, isn't she?
As shown in the Meryl Streep film Florence Foster Jenkins about a socialite desperate to become an opera singer, many people may believe they have a good ear, but few actually do. Perfect pitch The ability to identify or reproduce any note without having another to compare it to is even more rare. It turns out only about 1 in 10,000 people can tell a C sharp from a D flat in Western cultures. Even among the most talented musicians, very few have been known to have perfect pitch. Mozart is believed to be one. Ella Fitzgerald, another.
Dream a little dream of me.
Can a good ear be taught, or is it all in the genes? Studies show at least partly it comes down to genetics, although early exposure to musical training, especially between ages 3 and 7 when the brain is particularly pliable, can help the ear learn to hear subtle tonal shifts.
The best way to guarantee that someone would have perfect pitch is a combination of nature and nurture in both, we think, underlying genetics as well as the right exposures to music and sounds from a young age.
Speakers of tonal languages like Mandarin or Vietnamese, where changing pitch alters the meaning of the same sounds, may also be at an advantage. One study showed 60% of Beijing natives who began taking music lessons before age 5 passed a test for perfect pitch, while only 14% of Americans did. So can an adult learn his or her way to perfect pitch? Probably not.
If we have this idea that perhaps perfect pitch could be taught, then it would need to occur during a period of development. And so the best way in an adult brain to get it to kind of develop again is to kind of shift it back to a mode when we're younger.
But almost anyone can eventually learn to hear if a note is in tune. You can take online pitch tests to test your own. And remember, it doesn't take a perfect ear to still enjoy music.
Expand your diaphragm, Florence. I think Madame Florence might need more lessons.
Alright, so that was the video. Oops. Alright. So, for these first two questions, can anybody tell me one fact about perfect pitch and one possible cause for the ability?
I remember that it's about 1 out of 10,000 people in the Western culture that has perfect pitch in average.
Yeah, you stole mine, Eduardo. I was gonna say
Mine too.
Other people that speak languages where the tone changes the meaning, they might have an advantage on this. Does that count? I got competitive now, I'm sorry.
And now I'm trying to remember the percentage of Mandarin students who were approved.
I think it's 60.
60%? Against?
5%. But I didn't understand why this difference. Not sure if they explained.
I think because of the tones of the language, right? So when you say Mandarin, ha, hi, hey, they are 3 completely different words. And in American or Latin languages, we don't have these differences or subtle differences between the accents.
The exposure to these tonal differences pretty much makes it more facilitates, I would say, and trains the ear to have this ability. That's what I would say. And in terms of the character, the opera singer, would you say what's the matter with her perfect pitch? What would you guys say?
I know she has a lot of will to become a singer. I guess she doesn't have enough skills yet, maybe, or she's trying to develop them.
Yeah, I would say, at least I never watched the film, but at least from the video, it seems that she's trying to to get this ability by pure like training repetition. So yeah, she doesn't have the talent to, let's say, or she wasn't maybe exposed to a language like a Mandarin that has these tonal shifts, for example. And do you guys think she would be able to reach her goal of becoming an opera singer based on what you watched here?
In the next life, I believe so.
That's a very diplomatic answer.
No, I have to agree. At least from what we see here, for sure. All right, I think this is good for these questions. Well done, everybody. So let's keep it moving here. So now we have some comprehension questions. Excuse me. So I'm gonna give you guys 1 minute to each write down an answer to each question. So let's do it like this. For the first question, I would like Rodrigo to answer. The second question for melody, I would like João. For the third question about pitch, I would like Letícia to answer. And then the last question for recognize, I would like Eduardo to answer. So I'm going to put up a timer for 1 minute, and yeah, you guys can write down your answers, and then I'll call you guys when time is up.
Okay.
Alright, I think that's already. Do you guys need more time, maybe? Other minutes, or? Alright, I think, alright. And if it's not maybe how you'd like your answer to be, it's fine. It doesn't have to be the most elaborate answer ever. But okay, so let's start with Rodrigo, please. Could you read the question and then your answer that you have?
Yeah, so how is rhythm different from pitch when we talk about music perception? In my opinion, I'm not a musician and anything else, but I believe when we talk about rhythm, it's more like we can think more about movement of a song, you know, like when we have this kind of perception, like when you are seeing athletes dancing and doing the things, we can talk more about rhythm instead of you know, the pitch itself. And when we talk about pitch, we can think more about the tone of the music, the frequency, like someone can identify a G tone in different frequencies, right? So I believe that's the difference between rhythm and pitch.
Yeah, so we have this little, for each one we have like a little predetermined answer. We have this one: rhythm organizes when notes happen, while pitch defines which notes are heard. So it's a very summarized way of saying what you described to us here. So yeah, rhythm is basically how the music moves. Let's say how it's a very like movement way of seeing the song. And then the pitch is, yeah, as you said, and I think it's the perfect word, the different frequencies in which we're listening to the song. So yeah, very good, Rodrigo, thank you. And for our second question on melody, could I please have João read the question and tell us your answer, please?
Mm-hmm. Why is melody harder to identify without pitch recognition? So the answer I wrote is without pitch recognition, melody is harder to identify because melody, and I don't know if this is the science of it, but this is what I think, because melody always needs different tones, and if you cannot tell them apart, the tones, it all sounds wrong or the same.
I mean, this is pretty much the answer we have here as well. Without pitch recognition, it's harder to identify melody because you can't distinguish exact notes. So yeah, I would say this is pretty much what it boils down to.
Okay.
So yes, thank you, João, for your answer. Good job. And for pitch, could I please have Letícia read the question and your answer that you have, please?
Mm-hmm. According to the video, I'm sorry. Why is perfect pitch considered rare among musicians? So this is what I wrote down. I was searching actually to have more information. Because it depends on a set of conditions coming together and most people never meet them. So the ability seems to require exposure to specific pitches paired with their labels during a critical early window, so before age 6 or so. And most children aren't taught to name individual notes at that age.
Yeah, I think it's a very technical way to see it, but also correct, of course. And the answer we have here, only a very small percentage of people can identify or produce notes without any reference, making it an unusual skills even in trained musicians. So yeah, it's something that it's even among the people that are very into the music world, like it's not something you come across very often. So yeah, so good job, Chisa. Thank you very much. And lastly, we have recognize. Could Eduardo please read the question and his answer?
Right. So what does it mean to recognize a musical note without any reference sound? I would frame it as the core definition of the perfect pitch concept, which is to instantly associate a sound to a specific note without any support.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like, if we take a look at the answer, to recognize a musical note without any reference sound means you can hear a tone in isolation and immediately know its exact pitch. For example, being able to name something like an A sharp or an A flat without comparing it to another note or instrument. So yeah, basically it's boiling down a lot to the principle of perfect pitch that we have been talking about. So yeah, so thank you, Eduardo, as well for your answer. And now we're going to move on to something very different here. We're going to have a little debate. So I think for the sake of time, I'm going to skip this one. But we have some sentences that we can have to better structure our when we're describing, expressing opinions about really anything. I believe, in my opinion, it depends on research suggests. Some people argue that. But for the sake of time, I think we're going to move on to the actual debate. If I could have each person read a point here. If I could have, please, Eduardo, begin with agreeing with the point.
Mm-hmm. I agree with your point because that's true. I would like to add.
And now, Letícia, please, for disagreeing.
Respectfully, I see your perspective, but I disagree because, or while that's an interesting idea, evidence shows this is a good one.
Mm-hmm. And then could I have João read?
Yeah, so to expand on what you said, or that connects to another important factor.
For challenging, could I have Rodrigo please read it?
Yeah, how do you explain? If that's the case, then what about?
And I could please have Haline read summarize.
Sure. In summary, the key issue is, or therefore we can conclude that.
All right, so basically these are useful sentence structures, again, that we'll be using to have this little quick debate. And here is the prompt for this debate that we're going to have. Is perfect pitch natural or is it learned? So we're going to have two groups. Group A will defend the idea that real musicians have perfect pitch. And Group B will argue that anyone can become a musician. So we're going to have a little flow for this debate. So basically, for an introduction, each team presents their opening statement, about 1 minute, and then for the arguments, each team is going to give 2 or 3 points, defending their side. For the rebuttal, each team is going to respond to the other side. And then for the closing statements, we're going to summarize and reinforce the main idea. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to only stop sharing for a second so we can go to Zoom over here, and I'm going to try to do this. Let's see if it's going to work. I'm going to split you guys in group A and B. So how should I do this today? Let's see. I'm going to have Group A, João and Rodrigo, and Group B, Eduardo and Letícia.
Okay.
Agora é Rodrigo.
See if this
What's the group A? I forgot. We are for or against?
I'll send you just a second. Let me just and then I'll remind you guys.
Do you need help?
Ei,
E aí, Rodrigo, tudo bem?
tudo bom?
Tudo bom.
Eu esqueci também qual que era o A e o B.
A gente pode escolher qualquer um agora.
Deixa eu ver se tem no dever de casa aqui. Não temos. Eu acho que é esse aqui.
Ah, você pôs um arquivo. Deixa eu ver.
Mas eu não sei quem é o A e o B. Acho que a gente é o...
Ah, ok. Vamos... Qual é que tu preferes? Ou qual é que tu acreditas? Pode ser assim.
Eu acho que é muito mais difícil você defender que é algo treinável, né? O perfect pitch é algo treinável. Eu acho que é mais fácil falar que é natural. Porque a gente tem um caso do... Eu não sei se quer falar inglês, né? Mas... seria mais o caso do Beethoven, né? Que ele, por exemplo, naquela época ninguém sabia o que era um perfect pitch.
Sim.
E o cara ainda era mudo e acho que ele era cego também, então eu consegui descobrir, sei lá, notas e fazer coisas extraordinárias assim.
Eu acho que eu tenho a mesma opinião que tu e eu vejo da mesma forma, até porque eu não tenho jeitinho para a parada, então eu quero dizer que a culpa é da genética.
Ei.
Everything okay here? You guys are... Sorry.
I don't know if we are the A team or the B team.
Yeah, you guys are group A. You defend that real musicians have perfect pitch. Yes?
Real musician.
Is born? Is naturally born?
No. That only that musicians have that real musicians, let's say, that have perfect pitch. Like you have to have perfect pitch to be a real musician.
Okay. Because I thought the question is different, but okay.
Okay, just to clarify. Now I'm going to
Perfect. Thank you.
I believe that's a lie, right? Real musicians don't need to have a real pitch to be musicians, right?
I agree. Otherwise, we would have not a lot of musicians if perfect pitch is so rare.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And also, so we need to make an intro and arguments and rebuttal. Okay, so we think that is not true, right? That musicians can be musicians even if they don't have perfect pitching.
Yeah.
Why do we believe this thing? What are our arguments for this?
As we know, that's rare to have people who has the perfect pitch. So we have a bunch of musicians in the world, like in Brazilians musicians, for example, or international ones. The majority of them they don't have the perfect pitch, so and they are great.
Yeah.
We can say, I don't know, Michael Jackson, for example. I don't believe he had a perfect pitch, but he's, extraordinary.
Yeah. Did you watch the movie?
Yeah, I watched it.
I didn't watch it yet, but I like those kinds of movies.
Mm-hmm. Like Freddie Mercury as well.
Yeah. Very good one. The one from Elton John, also very good.
Yeah, Elton John.
So yeah, I agree. So I agree with the argument as well. So let's say that our friends from the other side will say that only real musicians have it, and we need to have a rebuttal.
Mm-hmm.
What do we say?
We can say example of those musicians. In my opinion, they don't have the perfect pitch, but they train a lot to have a good ear, and then become what they are, right?
Yeah, I agree. And if I may add, I think there's another argument that just came to my mind, which is, at the end of the day, for these artists, what matters is if people connect, right? If people listen to the music and are like, oh, I like this is important to me. And most people don't care about perfect pitch, right? They care about pitch, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So I think it's just kind of a different way of adding to it.
I agree. Like, if you train more or learn more about melody, rhythm, not about the notes itself, it's going to be easier for you to compose a music instead of just knowing the note of a song, because that's not going to bring you anywhere, I believe. Of course, it's extraordinary, it's very rare, right? But if you have the composition of the notes, which someone that has a perfect pitch won't recognize some chords or a melody, that is going to be very difficult. That person is not going to use that perfect pitch in this case, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think that you need that to be a musician. Okay, we're gonna win this.
Yeah, I believe so.
But I know that they're very competitive on the other side.
Oh, okay.
So, closing statement. We need a closing statement. We believe that you can be a musician even if you don't have perfect pitch. Because we have these arguments that we told people about. And if you don't agree with us, you were wrong. Science says that this is the real truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we won't win, but it will be fun at least.
Mm-hmm. I see your perspective, but we disagree because.
Yeah. What an interesting opinion. However, yeah, that's why she gave us these sentences. I think we should use these sentences. I forgot. Yeah, makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah. Do you live in Curitiba?
Yeah, but I came from Brasilia.
Ah, okay. You moved here recently?
Yeah, last year in September I came to Curitiba, and then I met Haline, which by coincidence she is my cousin from my grandmother's side.
Oh, that was a coincidence? You didn't know that?
we just met in the church because we are Messianic. And then we met there because, our minister told me that someone from Uehara, surname I believe, was living here and etc. So then I met Haline and then the others. Yeah.
That's a crazy coincidence.
Yeah.
What do you miss the most about Brasilia, if you miss things from there?
I believe my things there because I built an officer there just for work because I work remotely, and my dog, my pets there, the family. But of course, Curitiba.
You came here for school or for work?
No, as we are in this IT world, we can work anywhere, right? So that's the reason I came here, just to travel, just to know more about Curitiba and the other places.
Oh, nice one. Yeah, we are very lucky that we have these kind of jobs and we can do that.
And you live in Curitiba?
I live in Curitiba. As you can tell, I'm not from Brazil, but I've lived in Brazil for 13 years. I arrived before the World Cup in Brazil, so that was a long time ago. But I've lived in Curitiba for 10 years. So first I went to São Paulo, and then I came to Curitiba. And every time I came here, before I moved, like just visiting, the weather was really bad. And everyone would tell me, like, Curitiba, the weather is shit. And you've been here for how long?
In Brazil or in Curitiba?
In Curitiba.
Almost 1 year, but
so you've seen the whole year.
Yeah.
Right now it's really not nice.
Yeah.
And I remember whenever I came on the weekends, it was like gray and rainy, and I was like, oh my god, people are right. It's always like this. Every time I'm here, it's like this. And I was really like, oh, am I going to do this? I'm going to move to Curitiba. I don't want to live in bad weather. But then I moved and it's not that bad. I like Curitiba. I like it a lot.
Hello, you guys. Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
You guys need more time? Everything good over here?
No, we are good. How we can quit from here or leave?
Okay, I'm going to go back and then I'm going to call you guys back. I think it should be just a second then.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
And you're here just for work or?
Yeah. I also work remotely, and now I have family here. I'm married to Leticia. It's an important detail. So she's from here. I moved here, and sometimes I'm here, sometimes I'm in Portugal.
Oh, I see.
Because of these kind of jobs. Yeah, it's very nice.
Oh, that's interesting. I know many people that left Brazil to work in Portugal.
Yeah. A lot of people get a bit like confused. Like, everybody's going there. Why are you coming here? It's like, yeah. But a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I received a message to leave the room.
Yeah.
Let's go there.
I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah.
You open up here. Yeah.
Prepare for the fight, guys.
Yeah.
right, is everybody here? Are we good?
Really good.
All right, so let's start the chaos. All right, so we have introductions, arguments, rebuttals, and closing statements. Okay, so we're gonna have group A and then group B, group A and B. I think it's easy enough way to have it flowing. Okay, so if Harini can start the timer.
Just to ask you guys, is it okay if I record this event?
For me, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody? Okay, thank you. I will start here. Requesting.
And also, I never held a debate before, okay, guys? So this is also new for me. Accept. Okay, I think it should be...
So,
recording in progress.
Okay, like...
Recording in progress.
All right, so...
Let's start. So, the group A, right?
Yeah, group A, just a reminder, will defend that real musicians have perfect pitch, and group B will argue that anyone can become a musician. So here's our little debate flow. And now we're gonna have group A, 1 minute to present your opening statements, please.
Sure, if you want to start.
Actually, I think we prepared for the opposite argument, but we are a flexible
Lost
team.
10 seconds.
We are a flexible team, and just like, what's our opinion now? It's only real
Bring
musicians.
plasticity.
Only real musicians have perfect pitch. Yes, of course. We've always knew that. Me and Rodrigo were like, yeah, of course. So only real musicians have perfect pitch. Because that's what you need to be a real musician. Yeah, that's what I can do on that.
Anything else, Rodrigo?
No, I believe we're fine here.
Okay.
All right, I think let's begin the timer again then. And now group B, please, your opening statement.
Right, I can start. I guess that there is this idea that people, real musicians, need to have this kind of ability to be an actual musician, but we don't agree with that. We support the idea that it can be developed through training, and perfect pitch should be viewed as a skill that can be learned rather than exclusive natural gift.
Exactly. And we have some famous examples, and also musicians or artists who became famous and are not I don't know, I'm not really sure that they have or not a perfect pitch, but we've been looking for Susan Boyle and Sisto Rodriguez.
All right. Thank you. That was 1 minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I also didn't know
What note was that? Can you identify?
Not sure, actually. All right, so let's move on to the arguments. So let's maybe see what João and Rodrigo can tell us in 3 or 4 minutes for their side.
Okay, Rodrigo. We'll have to improvise, adapt, overcome.
Yeah, we believe that the musicians that exist in the world, the ones that had or they have the real pitch, they are the greatest of the greatest. We don't believe that the other musicians that exist in the world that don't have the real pitch is a good musicians. We don't consider them as a real musician, For example, Beethoven had a real pitch, and he was the greatest of the greatest. Mozart as well. Like if we call Susan Boyle, she doesn't have the real pitch. She's not a real singer, we don't believe that she exists anymore. So we don't consider that as part of musicians' world, you know.
And Mozart would win in a fight. So
Mozart would win in a fist fight, you say?
maybe in a piano fight, but also a fist fight. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was fast. I don't know.
So
we still have another minute.
Yeah,
so
I believe we are done with that.
On the idea, sorry?
I believe we are done with these arguments. We don't need more, you know.
we are very confident. Yeah.
I think João could expand a little bit about the Mozart example.
About Mozart winning in the fight?
Yeah. How so? I thought that was an interesting point.
Wow.
He's an inspiration for the other musicians. Without Mozart, the other musician wouldn't exist anymore, you know. So
I think
he's the
Rodrigo's
base.
argument is much better.
Yeah. You not trying to help to group A. I'm trying to give them more to work with. You could say maybe that they laid the groundwork for these artists,
Exactly.
and you could say that because of their perfect pitch, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Rodrigo said. Like, this was hundreds of years ago when people still use them as the reference. So that's how you become the reference. You have perfect pitch and you do something with it.
And of course, in the past, it didn't exist the perfect pitch word, you know. It became further, you know. So that's the reason.
Okay. Yeah, the concept was still not like it still didn't exist, right?
They just called it Mozarting. It was just Mozarting.
Alright. I think that's good. Thank you guys for your arguments. Now let's hear from Eduardo and Letícia, please.
Well, we had prepared a very technical speech for this part of our debate, but what I could say that you guys, Rodrigo and João, are the perfect example of how we can learn and achieve new goals by being exposed to challenges in life. So, if you guys believe that the perfect pitch is something that cannot be developed, I mean, look at yourselves. Look at your examples and how good your explanation was in the middle of the chaos that was created after not being prepared for the situation, and how good learners can the human being be. And I'll leave the 2 minutes later for my colleague.
Great, thank you very much, Letícia. So I guess we are supporting the idea to paint topics that the brain can be trained. So ear training exercises, for example, can improve note recognition. And as we were discussing, just as people learn languages and instruments, they can also learn pitch recognition, even though they are not supposedly born with this ability. And to add to that, also great musicians, they are made through practice. So many world-class musicians, they don't have a natural perfect pitch. As we were reading on that article, just in average, 1 out of 10,000 people have this kind of ability. So if real musicians needed to have this kind of requirement, then the universe of musicians would be very small in the world. So we support the idea, to sum up, that pitch recognition can improve over time and through practice. And since great musicians can succeed without a perfect pitch, we shouldn't see this as a requirement, but rather as a process that is done through dedication, and practice, and training.
Awesome. So really latching on to the idea of repetition and training, as we talked about before. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Okay, thank you very much, Eduardo and Leticia. Those were amazing arguments, in my opinion, as well, just like the boys before. So now let's move on to the rebuttals. So each team is going to respond to the other side. So again, let's have Rodrigo and João about 2 minutes on the clock to respond to Eduardo and Leticia's arguments, please.
Yeah, I see your perspective, but I disagree because in the past, they didn't know about the G tones, D tones, and everything, you know? So one person who had the perfect pitch created this kind of structure of the notes, and then of course the melody and the chords became what they are at this moment. So without this person that created and had this perfect pitch, everything that you guys know about real musicians is related to the real pitch.
Yes, and to complement my partner's point, as you can see, my partner and I, we did not have a lot to practice. We're still giving the best answer. So we believe in natural born talent. I rest my case.
Honestly, I think 1 minute was enough, unless you guys have anything else to add.
Nothing else to add. Not on my side.
Okay,
No, I believe we are good. This pitch, we are good at the pitch.
What about the point, which I think was very interesting, that Eduardo said about how the musician world would be much smaller without the perfect pitch musician. What do you think about that?
You can count at your own hands that the existence of good musicians. The other musicians, they are just a replica of the real musicians, you know, like we can say like Michael Jackson, Elton John. They are the greatest musicians, you know. But Susan Boyle, no, we don't believe about that. She's just a cover of real musicians.
Susan Boyle is just a side character.
Yeah.
I think those were some amazing rebuttals. Thank you boys so much. And now if I could have Eduardo and Leticia respond to their arguments now. 2 minutes on the clock, please.
I'm really thinking about our answers.
Right, maybe I can start. I see your points, Rodrigo. I want to show some evidence. In 2025, there was a study from University of Surrey, and basically they selected 12 adult musicians for 8 weeks. And during this process, they were teaching or training this group of 12 people to achieve the perfect pitch, right? And at the end of this period, 7 out of the 12 musicians achieved 90% of accuracy of these results, while some participants even mastered all the 12 notes. So this is one idea, to support the idea that adults can improve and reach this kind of ability. Leticia, any comments, any other?
When I was younger and I used to play piano as well, I had some classes. We had these exercises of listening and trying to recognize and write down the notes. And of course, it was a small range of notes, but it was a practice. So yeah, it could be trained. And I see by my brother as well. He studied music after being an adult. So his first professional course is in another field. and now since, I don't know, the last 10 years he's been teaching, improving his abilities.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, especially with Chispa's example, you can then argue, or in this case, you can use it as a rebuttal that even after we're older, we can still be proficient at music and have this credential as an actual musician to others. So yeah. Thank you very much also, Eduardo Letícia, for your rebuttals. Great arguments as well. And as a closing statement, after our discussion, do you guys think that it is necessary to have perfect pitch in order to become a musician? Now, like just in general, not in the tone of a debate.
Of course. I don't have the perfect pitch, so I'm not a musician. And according to Eduardo fact, I disagree that part because it was a small sample of persons, of people that were doing this test. You know, if we put in the number of more people to have this kind of test, we would see that the perfect pitch would be acceptable in this case, right? We would see more people that they don't have the perfect pitch. They wouldn't become musicians in that case.
Yeah. I think maybe in a larger landscape of people, it's a higher chance that you wouldn't find people that have the ability as well. Yeah, that's fair. Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
I respectfully disagree. Otherwise, you should have presented another study, but the data that we have is about this one. Actually, I mean, I agree with our initial position, that we don't need to have a perfect pitch in order to become a musician, because of the examples that I have in my life and famous people that we also know. And I don't believe that they have this perfect pitch as well.
I think you guys make a good case. It's just unfortunate that it's wrong because it's not the same as ours. But actually, I think we were discussing 3 different things. One is if can it be trained, yes or no? So 1 and 2. And do you need to have it to be a musician? I think that's a separate thing, and perhaps we got a little bit sidetracked. But in our position, are we still in the debate? Do I still need to defend this?
Not necessarily, but you could.
Okay. But I'll stick to my guns and to my friends' guns. So that's it. I got a little bit confused on the themes at some point, but if you want to be a world class, it's important, right, Rodrigo?
Correct.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. Eduardo, any further remarks?
Right. So, on a personal note, I believe that even though rephrasing, I support the idea that we don't need to have a perfect pitch to become a musician, but I also recognize that someone with disability has a much easier road to become a musician. This guy, Charlie Puth, I don't follow his career a lot, but I have seen him in some videos, and I know that he works with music so well, so seamlessly. He composes and plays very, so easily. And that's certainly one skill that plays a big advantage.
Yeah, I agree. Especially Charlie Puth is everything he does with music. I think seamlessly is like the perfect word to describe. Like, it seems so easy to him and so it's like breathing oxygen. It's just like, I don't know, walking. It's just, so he makes it seem very easy, but yeah. Again, I would say just like Eduardo, like both sides have their merits. Not having perfect pitch doesn't discredit you from being a musician, but it does allow you to be somebody that has much more facility to learn and to be proficient at whatever it is that you are pursuing as a musician, whether it is instruments or production or whatever it may be. And you guys, I think that's it. Halim, do you have any remarks that you would like to add, maybe?
Yeah, I am surprised with this debate. I actually love it. Congratulations to you all. And I think I should say sorry because in that moment that we were splitting the groups, maybe I told Eduardo they should do the A or B, I don't know. And then Eduardo was with Letícia, of course. And then they weren't prepared for that. And then João and Rodrigo, they probably got the other information from Arthur. And then because when you went to the breakout rooms, then I didn't know if you were out, if you were in a breakout. I didn't see here. And I'm sorry, but I think you kill it.
Yeah, I also apologize. I thought I relayed you guys the correct information. This is also not only the first debate, pretty much the first time I'm officially like using the tools in Zoom, so maybe got a little bit confused and But yeah, I apologize to the boys or to everybody for that matter. But you guys did a great job. I think it was an amazing debate. Very interesting.
Yeah, we won.
No.
Thank you, Haline.
But Rodrigo, I told you that they would be competitive, right? I told you that they would be competitive. I was not expecting them to go all perplexity on us and search and ask for references and Jamie, pull it up. That is crazy.
We didn't have to make this kind of research because it was innate,
Yeah.
Naturally, yeah.
Right.
All right. I mean, again, great debate. It was a great time to watch you guys discuss this topic, which I find very interesting. I hope you guys found it as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think this is it. This is the lesson. This is the debate. And thank you guys so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure to have you guys on. And thank you very much. It was an honor.
Really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you very much. Thank you, Letícia, João, Rodrigo. Bye.
Bye. Bye to you guys.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Só para contextualizar vocês, é porque o tema que passou no exercício foi ao inverso, né? O professor tinha entrado na sala e falado para a gente defender a ideia de que as pessoas não precisariam ter o ouvido absoluto para ser músicos. Só que quando chegou lá na hora do debate, ele falou que a gente deveria defender que todas as pessoas que são músicas ou que são músicos, todos os músicos têm que ter ouvido absoluto. Então ali na hora a gente ficou meio travado, justamente porque a gente tinha que inventar ali na hora, né? Assim, foi uma experiência legal porque colocou a gente sob pressão, no sentido de que a gente está preparado para alguma coisa, assim, né? A gente teve tempo para preparar para uma coisa específica, só que chegou na hora, tivemos que mudar todo o nosso contexto ali, né? Assim, no dia a dia é realmente isso, né? No trabalho, na vida pessoal, né? Você tá numa entrevista de emprego, você tá, você tá fazendo... uma apresentação e acontece imprevistos e você tem que saber como lidar com isso, né? Então, assim, eu entrei no personagem de que tem que defender realmente, de que todas as pessoas têm que ter ouvido absoluto para ser bons músicos, né? Então a gente falou, poxa, sei lá, a gente não sabe se realmente Mozart tinha ouvido absoluto, ou a gente não sabia se aquela palavra existia naquela época, né? Mas a gente falou assim, não, o Mozart, ele foi os músicos dos músicos e sem ele, hoje em dia, a música não seria como é hoje em dia. Então, sei lá, cada nota que foi composto, foi criado ali naquele momento, tinha que ter uma pessoa com ouvido absoluto para criar músicas hoje em dia, né? Essa foi a nossa, assim, nossa tese. Logicamente, pode estar completamente errado, mas a gente defendeu isso até o fim, né? A gente teve, sei lá, tentou ter bons argumentos para utilizar durante o debate e, né, o outro grupo falando assim, poxa, tem estatísticas falando que pessoas que não tiveram ouvido absoluto poderiam acertar quantidade de notas, né, certas e tudo mais. Só que aí eu falei, né, poxa, o teste que foi feito, né, o sample, né, a amostra feita foi de um grupo muito pequeno. Então, se você pegasse um grupo como um grupo inteiro, você conseguiria ter uma margem de erro muito maior nesse caso, né? Então foi assim, foi uma experiência bem legal nessa aula de inglês. Logicamente pegou a gente de surpresa, mas foi uma experiência bem interessante, assim. Então é só para tentar esclarecer mais ou menos o que aconteceu ali, porque a gente já estava um pouco nervoso no sentido de tentar defender uma ideia que a gente já achava que era impossível de defender, entendeu? Quando a gente estava conversando ali na outra sala, a gente falou, não, eu acho que é uma ideia muito fácil de defender, né? Tipo, pessoas que são músicos não precisam ter ouvido absoluto. E quando chegou ali na hora, a gente ficou já meio, caramba, não era isso que a gente planejou. Então, foi basicamente isso. Espero que vocês tenham gostado dessa experiência de ter uma aula de inglês comigo. No trabalho talvez eu consiga mostrar alguma coisa assim, mas como tem algo privado assim, né, eu prefiro não mostrar no momento muitas coisas, né, mas eu vou tentar mostrar mais ou menos o meu dia a dia dessas coisas em inglês para vocês.